Hi everyone, it's Fortune here. Today I'm going to be showing you the new 7 Days to Die Alpha 7 version. Came out February 28th, and we're going to jump right in. I have a game already set up here. I have the zombies turned off. I have creative mode turned on. I'm just going to put a password in there because for some reason people can get in even when your game is private. Let's jump in. I've already been in. I got a bunch of stuff set up to make the video as short as possible. I know you guys don't want to be sitting around for half an hour looking at this stuff. First of all, I want to go through the glass making, and that is done through the forge. To make a forge, you need regular stone. To get stone, you have to walk around. In every biome, you'll find these rocks. You take these rocks and you put them in your crafting window. I have 5. I'll get 5. It's going to take 25 seconds. You hit craft, and it will slowly progress into getting your stone. Once you have the stone, you put it in the crafting window. You just select forge down here, and it's basically these 6, this one, and this one. I don't actually have enough stone, and it takes too long to show that, so I'm just going to skip that and pretend that I just came out with the forge. You should know this because I did have a video already if you're watching my videos, or anybody else's, or playing the game yourself. So we're going to go into the forge, and I have here the mold for the glass jar. I want to show you how I got that. And I also want to show you how to get the mold for the glass pane. Now, I was a little confused when I saw the glass pane in the recipe list because I'm like, how do you get a glass pane? You can't get one, you break it. Well, I discovered playing in earlier in the night that you can actually loot these off of dressers, cardboard boxes, and stuff like that. So it's actually not a problem, and you only really need one. So in order to do the mold, and the thing with this crafting list now is it's just all over the place. You got forging iron in between storage, chest, and torch. Then you got, so I'm sorry, but I'm not going to scroll through here and try to find these each time. I know the names of them and I'll tell you what it is. I just know the recipes, so I'm just going to do them really quick. It'll save a lot of time. And I apologize for, for that. Hopefully you do know enough about the games that you know how the crafting menu works. But in order to make the glass pane, you put the clay down in a little U configuration, and you put your glass pane in there, and you hit craft, and that'll actually bring up, after 5 seconds, you'll see the progress bar kind of slide along here. You get your mold. You do the exact same thing with the glass jar. You put the glass jar in the clay in the exact same position, you hit craft, and you'll get your mold. So I want to show you a bug that doesn't always bug, but it does for me a lot of the times. I have items here. I'm going to click off, and those items are gone. Now sometimes they're there, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they pop back in here. So it's not a thing that's like for certain, and it seems to be like if I were to just stick these here, it's gone. So just to see, I have 3 glass jars and I have 1 glass jar. I'm gonna kind of look, and it did give me that back. I lost 2 stacks of boarded windows earlier on a playthrough, and I was kind of annoyed. So it's an occasional bug that is annoying, as bugs tend to be. So we're gonna do the empty jar mold, and in order to do that, we need sand. I actually happen to spawn in a sand biome, but if you didn't, you need to get a hold of some, which is along any body of water, or just get yourself down to the sand biome. It doesn't take straight sand. You need to break the sand down. So it actually becomes crushed sand, and I believe you get 4, which it does say that right there. You get 4 crushed sand for every piece of sand that you put in here. So I'm just going to put 1 in here, and you'll see that it needs 0.8 pounds to make 1 jar. Well, we have, or whatever quantity it would spit out, and if it spit out in 5, but it takes 0.8 to make whatever quantity would come out. And if I put 3 in here and gave it some fuel, it's going to go off and do its thing. It's going to start making the bottles. I will tell you that I do know that 1 block of sand breaks down into 4 crushed sand, and 4 crushed sand actually give you 5 bottles. So you get 5 bottles for every block of sand that you find in the game. So now we have the glass jar. We're going to do the glass mold, the glass window. So again, that's pretty much the same thing. That actually needs 2 pounds to make a window. So we're going to give that a little bit more fuel. And you can sort of see the progress. It's a little bit slow because it does take so much. We're only going to get a couple of windows out of here. And you can hear a noise, what sounds like somebody walking behind me. It's actually a bunny rabbit way the hell over there. The footsteps from the wildlife in this game are ridiculous now. So now we have, you know, our glass panes, and from that we can make our windows with the sticks that we want to. But that's it. That's the only new forging system recipes in Alpha 7. So now we have our campfires, and the reason I have 3 is because some of them take quite a while, and I wanted, again, to kind of show you this as quickly as possible. I'm not trying to rush it, but the first thing that you need to do, assuming that you know how to make a cooking campfire, which if you don't, it's the same breakdown system from rock to stone, and then you put the stone in here, and you can craft that down, and you get small rocks. And the small rocks are just in a square, and then you get your campfire. And you can't shift-click to pull stuff out of the crafting box. You used to be able to. You can't anymore. So now we have our campfire. I actually put 3 down, like I said. I want to show you really quick what happens if you put a sharpened stick in here where it says cookware. So there's a sharpened stick, there's the cooking pot, and now there's something called a cooking grill. And I'll show you how to make all those really quick. But first we're going to do the sharpened stick. And I already have here some rabbit, pork, and venison. So we're just going to do really quick the venison since I haven't made it yet. We're just going to take the venison and stick it in there. We're going to give the cooking campfire a little bit of fuel, and we're going to hit cook. And so basically what happens is, just kind of imagine you have the venison shoved onto a stick and you're holding it over a campfire. It's kind of how I'm thinking of it. So now we have made charred venison. Now, charred pork and charred rabbit are the exact same. So you just would, you know, put those in there, and there you go. That's done. So that's as simple as the campfire with the sharpened stick is. It doesn't get any easier than that. And that's probably the first one that you'll be using, because the second one, which is the cooking grill, actually you need iron. To get the cooking grill, you have to have iron ingots. You break the iron ingots down into forging iron by putting that in here and hitting the craft button. You would then take those and put those in here and hit the craft button, and you'll see that we get 3, and it takes a very short amount of time. So what you're going to want to do is look through here and find the cooking grill. And since I've learned the recipe, I just know that it's 9. And we're going to hit craft. It's going to get 1, and it's going to take 5 seconds. So we're going to grab that as soon as it's done. We're going to go to, and that, pretty awesome, huh? We're going to go in here and put our cooking grill over here. And we're going to see what recipes we have. Now, you can only sharp stick cook and grill cook regular meat. It won't take anything else. So here we have, let's again do venison. Let's give it some fuel and hit cook. You see it takes 15 seconds. The plank gives us, I think, 22 seconds. So we're going to get that venison out of here. And we're going to go on to the cooking pot. And the reason I have 3 campfires down is because the cooking pot recipes, there's many more of them, and some of them take quite a bit more time. So in order to, not to stack, in order to cut down on the time, I'm going to just create 3, show you the recipe, and move on while it cooks, and then I'll go back to show you the finished project. So here we have, finished product rather. Here we have the cooking pot, and we can make cornbread and blueberry pie. Cornbread and blueberry pie were in before. I wanted to show you something different with the blueberry pie. It's actually, you need an egg now. So whereas before you needed water, cornbread, and blueberries, you actually now have to put an egg in there. And those, of course, are from the bird's nests, and they were pretty much useless before, so it's good that they have a need for them now. We're going to put that in here, and actually you need 2 because it takes 30 seconds. Again, like I said, the stuff with the cooking pot tends to take quite a bit more time. I want to show you, since we made our glass jars, I did put a toilet down here because I want to show you something that's new. I mean, the river water is supposedly an old recipe. I never got water from the river before, so I can't guarantee that that was. But you actually get bottled river water from toilets now, and you can't cook with it. You can drink it, but it doesn't do very much for your thirst or your stamina. So what you have to do is actually bring the bottled river water up into a cooking pot campfire and then hit cook. And I want to show you just exactly how long it takes just to do 3 of these. I'm just going to do 1, and we're going to hit cook on, actually we're going to give it a little bit of fuel and hit cook there, and we're going to let that burn. And that's actually going to sit and purify. So while that's going, we're going to come over here, and I'm going to show you the cornbread recipe, which is the same as it was, cornbread and water, bottled water, purified. And of course, to get the cornbread, you just put 2 ears of corn like this, and you hit craft, and you'll get your cornbread. So come in here, and I'm not going to cook it, but you'd hit cook and put some fuel in there. The next recipe that we have, which actually is pretty neat, is actually called goldenrod tea. And there are these little flowers. There's white flowers and yellow flowers in the world now. Now, the white flowers do not have a purpose as of yet. I've checked the recipe list up and down. I don't see white flower in there anywhere. And obviously there's no other kind of tea in here, so I don't know what the purpose of that is yet. It might be something forthcoming. But if you, you'll see it takes 30 seconds. So we're going to give that a little bit of fuel, and we're going to let that go. And what we're going to get from there is goldenrod tea. So I'm going to come back over here, take our blueberry pie out, stick that over here, and I'm going to show you the boiled aspect of this. So in the cooking pot, you can boil pork, you can boil rabbit, and you can boil venison. So let's boil us up a rabbit, and you can put anything in any corner, it doesn't matter. Sorry if the noise level is a little loud. I tried turning it down a bunch of times. You cannot put boiled river water in here, because if you'll notice, it's just going to give me a bottle of water. You have to use the bottled water, the purified. And then you would just 20 seconds. I'm going to put 2 in there just because. And then you'll see that that's starting to work. It's going to give us boiled rabbit. It's the same recipe with pork and venison. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to see that we have purified water. The next thing I want to show you is actually the stews. Rabbit stew and venison stew. You do not need clay. You don't need a clay bowl anymore. To get rabbit stew or venison stew, it's the same recipe. You're just substituting rabbit for venison. So you need a bottle of the good water, you need a potato raw, a corn raw, and you need the raw food. So you cannot make pork stew. You can only make venison stew and rabbit stew. And that's basically, I don't think I've missed anything. That's the cooking. I think, like I said, probably you're going to start out with the sharpened stick, because it's really just stones and a piece of wood that you need. It'll get you going. The progression in Alpha 7 is a lot tougher than it ever was before. And I will actually be doing a tutorial on that tomorrow. So look for that. March 1st. It should come out March 2nd, I guess. This one will probably come out March 1st. So keep an eye on that. I'm going to go over the smooth terrain, and I'm going to go over a little bit of the stealth system and how you actually start out your first day. Of course, I was able to stand here with no zombies on, so I was able to get all this done. It's a lot tougher, guys, and I will go over it tomorrow. Hopefully you'll be able to see it and figure out what's going on. But I hope you enjoyed this. This is it. This was, the cooking campfires and the the glassworking. So that's it. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a good day and a good night, and I'll see you soon. Bye.